Just cleaning myself up a little bit. Because, you know... Oh yeah, that's right. Stranger Things. Because I've seen that show. I actually have. It's really good. It's really good. Apart from the second season. Second season's a bit drab. Just shut that. Second season's a bit drab. But yeah, we're not here to talk about what's on my jumper. We're here to talk about comic books. Two in particular. That's Captain America, issue 701, even though I haven't read issue 700. This is a new story arc. You don't need to have read that one to jump into this one. I wouldn't recommend jumping into that one though. Not really. No. And then we got the much better Hunt for Wolverine Weapon Lost. I'll cover that later, because it's good. Cover this first, because it's not so good. Right. So, first off, Captain America is not the main character of his own series anymore, or his own title anymore. Basically, it starts off in 1944 in France, and Captain America is fighting against the Nazis. Obviously, who else is he fighting against? It's always a version of the Nazis, isn't it? You got the actual Nazis, you got Hydra, you got AIM, which is, I guess, a type of Nazis as well. I guess, don't know that much about AIM, but yeah, we've got him fighting against the Nazis, and we see that this doctor has some of this. Yeah, Dr. Straussen, not that important of a character in this. He has the last of Dr. Erskine's formula, and right as they're about to catch him, this woman shows up. As you can see, the art actually looks pretty good here. It doesn't stay that way for long. Yeah, we see there's a little bit of a fight. Doesn't last too long. And then we've got Bucky dangling this doctor over a ledge, trying to be Batman, but he's failing miserably. He's just ending up like a shit Robin, really. Like the lowest grade Robin that you could find, and that's what Bucky's being like now. So they get the formula back, and it jumps to the present day of this storyline, which is the future. And it's this guy called Jack Rogers, who is supposed to be a descendant of Steve Rogers, and he's looking after his son, who looks a lot like Steve Rogers, and is actually called Steve Rogers, so you can see where that's going. And he's in a hospital bed, and Jack Rogers is kind of looking after him whilst in that hospital bed, and you can see from here that the artwork has dropped in quality, like exponentially so. So we keep with this Jack Rogers for quite a while. He's one of those people that just has a go at everyone and finds a valid point to have a go at everyone. He's one of those people. And we see, we're taught a lot about this world through these 2 pages, and like what the future's like. And he says, "This is the world we live in. Everything Steve Rogers dreamt of and fought for made real. An America where the Bill of Rights is as sacred as the Bible." Yeah, not just any religious text, because the Bible is more important than the rest of them. Oh yeah, and because the Bible is obviously the most important thing in the world. And the Bible is kept more sacred than I guess it is, really. There's no book that's more important than the Bible, is there, really? If you want to get down to your standpoints, don't get into religious debate in the comments. I know that's not going to happen because no one uses the comments, but just in case you do, don't get in a religious debate. Talk about comics. No other books. But yeah, it's apparently as sacred as the Bible, but not as sacred as. But it's as sacred as the Bible, more sacred than the Quran and all the rest of them. Where total equality and prosperity are in evidence everywhere. Total equality. Total equality. Yet it says here, down here, make war no more. America and the Kree allied. Americans and the Kree allied. What happened to the rest of the world? Did the Kree just wipe out the rest of Earth, just leaving America solely there and like, no, you're the best of us, obviously. Obviously you're the best of us. Because you still have guns, you still have mild racism. So yeah, you're still the best of this. You're the best that this whole world has to offer. Because you're all a load of savages still. But yeah. So he's basically saying how important Captain America was, and that the rest of the world is being kept as a. The rest of the world is being given a little ditty bit of the super soldier serum. Not enough to give them full out superpowers, but enough for them to get really enough for them to survive, and it's being given out like a normal vaccination. And apparently it works. But yeah, you can definitely tell that the artwork from, say, here, which isn't great artwork in its own right, but it's definitely a lot better than that. That kind of looks a bit out of date, I guess is the best way to put it, out of date. And forget what you think about this comic. That page is pretty cool, especially with the Captain America bulge down there. So we see that this is the one cool thing in this entire comic book, and it's the fact that they have this kind of monocle, that Jack Rogers has this kind of monocle, where and it's made out of pieces of the Time Stone, so we see that he can see into the past a little bit. So he's able to see, like 10 minutes ago, what this guy was, or this guy who I guess is going to be the main villain of the series, of this story arc, and he can see kind of what he did like 10 minutes ago and where he put this formula that he needs to save his son. And yeah. So he sees everything. He sees that the formula isn't, that the super soldier serum that they're giving everyone isn't saving them, it's wiping their minds and turning them into slaves for the Kree. And this is kind of where it stopped being a bit average and it kind of ramped up a bit, because now there are stakes. Now there's actual stakes, and now it feels like there's going to be some kind of like payoff to all this. And you think, oh, there's going to be a fight, but no. our main character in his first issue, his first appearance. What's he doing? He's running away. Maybe you can probably say, well, he doesn't have any powers. How can he run away? But yeah. Also about that comment that I made earlier about all Americans being savages. Sorry, I didn't mean that. That was a jokey joke. That was a joke that I made. Please don't hate me in the comments. Please be nice to me. No. Please be nice. I'll give you cookies. But yeah, that it's just average. It's just so bland. But thankfully, I read Hunt for Wolverine, Weapon Lost, second, and it was so good. So good. First of all, it's using Daredevil as a POV character. POV means point of view, for those of you who don't know. But yeah, it's using Daredevil as a point of view character, and it's written by Charles Soule, who's been writing Daredevil superbly over the last like couple arcs, couple storylines, and yeah, he just gets Daredevil. He just really gets Daredevil. So yeah, Daredevil it's most of the plot is through Daredevil, like keeping a log of the events of this. And first of all, a bit of setup. Wolverine died. He died a couple of years ago, and now he's back after the events of Marvel Legacy. And so his adamantium shell was split open, his body been removed, and he is somewhere to be seen. He is somewhere. And they've had these like one-off pages in like the back. They've been calling them end credit pages. Even Marvel Comics are having their own Marvel secret endings. So yeah. Yeah, but basically the X-Men are trying to find Wolverine, and they're like, this isn't just a mutant problem. Wolverine touched so many people. So that's where we get the Hunt for Wolverine, like the four separate mini-series all tying into the Hunt for Wolverine thing. And it's so they went to see, so the X-Men have gone to see Daredevil, and they've gone to see Tony Stark. Daredevil has put his own team together. Tony Stark's put his own team together. Lady Deathstrike overheard that Wolverine was back and was like, Wolverine's back? Now I get my chance to kill him. And they're looking for Wolverine. And she's looking for Wolverine with Sabretooth and Daken. But I thought Sabretooth and Daken were kind of good guys. I don't know, they were morally dubious. Sabretooth's definitely like 100% good guy now. Daken, not so sure. I don't really know that much about the character. And then you got Mystery and Madripoor, which is all the women of the X-Men. And I'm going to be picking up all four, because I really want to see where this goes, and yeah, I just love the characters. But yeah, this was the one that I was looking forward to most, because Daredevil, I love Daredevil. Anything with Daredevil in, I'm gonna love. Apart from if it's that 2003 movie with Ben Affleck. No, don't want to know that. But yeah, Kitty Pryde went to Matt Murdock, Tony Stark, and said, look, Wolverine's gone missing. It's not where they put him in the grave. he's not in the grave where we put him, so yeah. Yeah, Daredevil's waiting on this rooftop for some guy, and that who's like riding this flying motorcycle. It's pretty cool. He's on this flying motorcycle. He goes to see Daredevil, and it's Frank McGee. Now, I got no idea who this person is. I heard the surname McGee, I read the surname McGee, and I thought, is he related to Jack McGee from the Hulk TV series? And no. He's an Inhuman that has the weirdest ability of any character I've ever seen. He can take snapshots in his mind, and guess what he is? A detective. That's an extremely, like I get Batman and why he's a detective, but he has no powers. But it's like, you give a character powers, and it's like that's the only thing that they can really do with their powers. And this is the kind of character that he is. Apparently apparently he's like Cyclops. He can like blast a light out of his eyes that like, can blind enemies, but it can also like light up dark areas. I don't know. But yeah, he's an Inhuman, and of course he's a detective because he can take snapshots of crime scenes in his mind. So they're basically talking to each other, and I like the fact that they don't forget that Inhumans and mutants are kind of enemies, and they kind of don't like each other at the moment. But yeah. So Daredevil's telling Frank McGee that they need to find Wolverine. And he's like, which one? The old one, the lady, the blonde kid, or the android? And he's like, the original. And then Frank's like, go check his grave. Daredevil's like, no, he's not there. So Frank's like, yeah, I'm in. I'm bored. I need something to do. Then we go over to Misty Knight. And she's in this bar that's getting robbed because it must be a day ending in Y for the Marvel Universe. So yeah, this bar's being robbed, and she basically just like crushes up a pool ball, and then they all run away. I was like, that was easy. So then Daredevil says, hey Misty. Misty then says, no, go away, fuck off. I don't want you here. And it's kind of that X-Men First Class moment with Wolverine. And then Frank McGee talks to her, and they kind of hit it off with each other. And the thing is, Daredevil is the point of view character, but he's not the main character. It's kind of looking at the other less popular characters and kind of giving you Daredevil's opinion or 2 cents on these characters. So then they realise this search for Wolverine is probably going to take us internationally, and we don't speak other languages. And then so they go find this this mutant called Cypher, who at first I thought was going to be really annoying because the thing that Daredevil says is, except for one thing, one of the languages he could speak was internet. And at this point I thought, oh gosh, it was going so well up until the point where Frank McGee just shoots the screen or the plug or whatever. Everything switches off. So Cypher grabs a gun and tries to kill them all because he's been sat at this computer for so long trying to, work out the internet and uncode the internet. And so Daredevil just has to give him a concussion. But basically, Cypher has been sat at this computer for so long that he's starving himself. So they go to a diner, get him some food, and then Cypher's like, "You wanna find Wolverine? Just Google it. Someone's bound to have seen Wolverine somewhere. There's bound to be a blog post somewhere about Wolverine, if he is still alive, or if someone has seen him." And then they're like, in the last 60 days of the global sightings for Wolverine, he's been everywhere. So yeah. It's not the greatest of cliffhangers, because you go on the internet, you're gonna see so much stuff about one person. But yeah, it was just really good from start to finish. I like how they don't try to overbear you with action. Like, it's a first issue, get acquainted to the characters. If you don't know much about Daredevil, then you get acquainted with him. And because all of the other characters in it are kind of unknowns, like Frank McGee. If you don't read certain comic books, you're not going to know who he is. I definitely didn't. Misty Knight is somewhat more well known because she was in Luke Cage and Defenders, but still not a lot of people are going to know who she is because not a lot of people watched Luke Cage or Defenders. And then you got the other guy, Cypher. They do a really good job of introducing him and not making him annoying, because you've got a character like that who never shuts up and can literally talk for his entire country, and trying to find a way to make that character not annoying or not come off as annoying. Charles Soule is just a genius. He really knows his way around Daredevil and these kind of characters, these kind of street level, like, not necessarily, like, he really knows his way around the street level Marvel universe, and he really knows his way around, like, the New York based, like, street heroes. And you can just tell that everyone is written the way that they're meant to, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's hard to explain why I liked it so much, because nothing really happens. It's just putting the team together, but the way that the team is put together is so good, so well done. The fact that Daredevil was commenting on everything that's going on, just brilliant, absolutely amazing. But yeah, those are my reviews of the comic books that I picked up this week. Tomorrow's Free Comic Book Day, but the video for my Free Comic Book Day pickups won't be up until Sunday morning probably, because tomorrow is the big day that I'm going to watch Avengers Infinity War. So tomorrow I will have the review for that up. Expect spoilers. It's been up for a week, so if you haven't seen it, what have you been doing? What have you been doing? Because seriously, 10 years in the making. It's incredible to see what one studio has been able to do in 10 years. They've had a bumpy road. It's definitely not the end, because we've got Ant-Man and the Wasp after this, which looks alright. The second trailer was definitely better, but yeah, I mean it's gonna be hard to top the hype for Avengers Infinity War. And then we've got whatever the next Avengers film will be, but yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you leave a like on this video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks to whatever your name was. So sorry, I can't remember the name of the guy who commented on yesterday's video, but thank you so much. Really means a lot. Really means a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be up as soon as possible. But until then, till all are one. Peace.